Okay guys, so here's the deal. I've gone through some of our data and I've noticed that we had a little bit of difficulty with context clues and looking at vocabulary within passages. So I pulled you guys aside so we could work on that today. First, I want you to read through these small passages that I've given you, and underneath them, write any words that you don't understand. Okay? Actually, we're going to wait on the second passage, so we're just going to start with the first one. Okay, it looks like everybody has pretty much chosen the same words. You added one more, though, candidate to your list. So my goal is, by the end of our lesson today, we're going to be able to identify some context clues that will help us understand what these words are. Okay, so this gives us a good base so we have something to go off of for later. Okay, so we're going to put this aside for right now. So just flip this on over. And we're going to look at the context clues cheat sheet that's next. Okay, this is designed to help you understand, or help you to understand the words when you're reading. Okay? So the first kind of clue that you're given is a definition. We have some signal words here that are listed, and then we have the punctuation that usually happens around those definition words. Okay, so our example here is bioethics, or the study of moral problems arising from advances in science, is Fred's favorite subject. Notice how this is separated by our punctuation of our commas. Okay? We also have that keyword "or" in here. Whenever you see that, it's usually going to indicate a definition. Restatement of the clue, or of the definition, is very similar to the actual definition, but they're just saying it in a different way. So we have our signal words, we have some different punctuation marks, and then we have an example listed. The flu epidemic was global in scope, meaning it affected every continent except Antarctica. Okay, so we have meaning right here. And we also have our punctuation mark. That is some clue to where we're, what kind of context we're getting. We have comparison and contrast. We've seen those through different lessons, so I don't feel like I really need to go over those. We have our likes and our unlikes and our as, and in contrast. Cause and effect words. Since, because, so, as a result, and due to, and thus, and therefore. Anytime you see something happens as a result of something else, we have a cause and effect statement. So John had an amiable nature. Therefore, he easily made friends. Okay? Our key word was amiable. Okay, so he was amiable. So that's our cause. The effect here is therefore, one of our keywords, he easily made friends. So that lets me know that amiable must mean that he's nice. Okay. We have an example that would use included. For instance, like, such as, or especially, with our punctuation clues. We have Joe's sensible precautions for the hike included a first aid kit and flashlight. So when I see that, precautions is my key word that I don't know, I'm going to see included and know, okay, so a precaution must mean like a safety measure or something that he thought of in advance. Okay? So this we're going to hold on to as a way to help us do the next activity. So just hold this like this. Okay? Now, any questions so far? Good? All right. So now we're doing a word busting activity. And the word busting activity is very similar to our passage that we read here. We're going to read through a passage. We're going to identify the word we don't know, unless it's been given to us already. And we're going to work through our chart clues, our context clues, and any word structure stuff that we know from before. Okay? So let's listen to me read number 1, and then we'll go through numbers 2, 3, and 4 together. The museum accused the art dealer of stealing a prehistoric sculpture of a woman's head. At the trial, the jury found the dealer not guilty, and the judge announced an acquittal. Well, I know that acquittal is my bolded word, so I'm going to write acquittal in my circle. So go ahead and do that now. All right. Now, I'm going to read through the sentences to see if I can get any context clues. Remember, I've got my context clues sheets here. So the museum accused the art dealer of stealing a prehistoric sculpture of a woman's head. That doesn't really help me with acquittal, other than maybe stealing. That word might help me, because that's usually something, you know, you're accused of doing something wrong, okay? And that he was found not guilty, or the acquittal maybe helps me with that. At the trial, the jury found the dealer not guilty. So I'm going to say definitely not guilty is my context clue, and stealing. So I'm going to write those in my box for context clues. And the judge announced an acquittal. Okay, so he had to announce that. So in my mind, he may have announced that he's not guilty of stealing. Does that make sense? Okay, so my chart information here, I've got an and here, and I've got a comma. So that lets me know, you know, it's going to be one of these that is set off by my comma. So let's see. And is in here. No, it isn't. I don't see it right now, but I know that's going to help me. It's something that he did. Word structure, acquit. Acquittal. I marked it off earlier, but what do you think?
Acquittal sounds like something you quit.
Okay, so I'm going to write quit in my word box, and go ahead. I'm sorry.
And also, when I think of a trial or jury, I think of like the government, the jury, something like lawyer words. So
okay, so it's used. It's a court word. Okay, so that helps us kind of understand where it's going to be used. Okay, so my definition after looking at my context clues here, I'm seeing not guilty of stealing, and they had to announce that he was not guilty of stealing. So my definition is that acquittal means the guy didn't do it, and that it was announced that he didn't do it. Okay, so that's what I think acquittal means, is that he didn't do it. So now we're going to look at number 2. I think I'm written on my number 2 already. And I want you guys to talk to me again, just like we did last time. The museum did not have any evidence that the art dealer took the sculpture, which was carved in France around 22,000 BC. The art dealer asserted his right to a trial, and the museum could not deny his claim. Well, I know my bold-faced word is asserted. We're going to go ahead and write that in. So I'm going to go sentence by sentence again, just like last time, to see if anything kind of stands out to me. The museum did not have any evidence that the art dealer took the sculpture, which was carved in France around 22,000 BC. That doesn't really help me, does it? No. So I'm just going to, for my own benefit, mark this whole sentence out. There's nothing there that will help me understand what asserted means. Okay? So the art dealer asserted his right to a trial, and the museum could not deny his claim. Well, if he's asserting his right to a trial, that means in my mind that maybe he's like saying something like, I want the trial, I want the trial. Does that make sense? What do you guys think?
asserted, when I think of asserted, I think of you're putting yourself into something. You're asking, like, yeah.
Okay, so maybe the context clue, like his right to a trial? And that he's assuming or asking for something. Okay, now I have my chart information that I'm going to be looking at again while you guys write. And I again see the word and. and I see the comma again. And it's just, you know, it's sticking out to me. And the museum could not deny his claim. So we've got another word right here, claim. So I'm going to write that again over here with my charts. Claim. And we already said it sounded like assuming for something. So what do we think maybe assertive means with using all of our information? And it's okay if you say something we've already got here.
It's basically like saying that you want a child, but you really don't have evidence for the child.
Okay, now if the dealer, the guy that's being accused of it, is asserting his right to trial, what do you think he's doing?
He's telling someone his rights. He's putting out rights. Because when you think of rights, you know, like, by the law, you have the ability to hire an attorney and all that other stuff.
Okay, so our definition maybe is that he's asking for something, or he's demanding for something. Okay, so let's write that down. Demanding for something. Okay, how do we think we're doing on this? Just give me a scale 1 through 4. How do you think you're doing on this? 1 being low, 4 being pretty good. Okay. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to take these back to your desks, and you're going to work on them on your own, and then we'll come back together later, okay? All right. Thank you.